going to discuss about the topic tree data structure. From our childhood, we might been heard a word tree. It may be a mango tree or a coconut tree, but we always hear a word tree from our childhood. Today, we're going to discuss about the tree in data structures. So generally, while hearing a tree, we might have already discussed the type of data structures. The tree data structure comes under a nonlinear data structure. Generally, the tree data structure is a nonlinear hierarchical data structure. It consists of nodes connected by the edges. Let's discuss some more points about tree data structure. Tree data structure is defined as collection of objects or entity known as a node that are linked together to represent or stimulate hierarchy. A tree data structure is a nonlinear data structure, as I discussed earlier, because they do not store the data in a sequential manner. It is going to be in a hierarchical structure order, like the tree will always arrange with different branches. Here, we're going to have multiple levels or multiple nodes on a same level. And the tree data structure used to have the root at the topmost node. As we know, always the root is a important feature or a main thing for a tree. Here, a root going to be the topmost node, and the topmost node known to be a root of a tree structure, data structure. And the data to be in a tree data structure can be of any data type. It may be a string or a number. So it is not fixed like an array, like the data to be in a particular data type, or all the data within that list should be in a particular order. Here, the different data types can be stored, and it is not even in a sequential manner, so that we can have a different hierarchical structure here for constructing a tree data structure. So after hearing all this, you might be wondering why we need this tree data structure. So our data structures such as array, linked list, stack and queue are linear data structures. They can store the data only in a sequential order. In order to perform any operation in a linear data structure, the time complexity always increases with the increase in a data size too. But it is not acceptable in today's computational world. Today, it's a fastest world. We need to do every process in a fastest manner. So the different tree data structure allow a quicker and a easier access to the data. It is in a non-linear data structure. That's why we are going to prefer a non-linear data structure other than the sequential manner preferred or previously used data structure. Now let's discuss some tree terminologies or the important terms that should be used in trees. Path. The path refers to the sequence of node along with the edge of the tree. Then comes the root. As we discussed earlier, it's going to be the topmost element or a node in it. So the root at the top of the tree, it's called to be a node at the top of the tree, it's called to be the root. There is only one root per tree and one path from the root node to any node. Parent. Any node except the root node has one edge upward to the node called parent. Then the child node. Child node going to be a sub node of a parent node. The node that belongs or given node connected to the edge or toward downward from it's called as a child node. Then the leaf node. The leaf or the end nodes which don't have any childs, they are called as a leaf node. Subtree. Subtree represents the descendants of a node. Descendants are the children of a node. It's also known as the descendants of the node. Next, visiting. Visiting means refers to checking the value of the node when controlled in on the node. Then traversing. Traversing means passing through a specific order. Then level. Level represents that the generation of a node. Like the root will be at the level 0. The next level of child will be the level 1. Then the grandchildren will be level 2, etc. Then key. Key represents the value of the node. Based on that key, the search operation can be performed. Okay guys, let's go for a next slide. See here, the structure of a tree is given in a represented in a pictorial form. The root node would be the A, the topmost one, that going to be at level 0. Then the B and C are the child of A, which is at level 1, and they're going to be the parent of F and G. And F and G can be also known as siblings. This is a this is a right node, and this is a left node of the C, and they both going to be a child of a C, and after that they don't have any hierarchical sub branches, so they mean to be a leaf node. And the subtrees, the tree after that construction, this forms a subtree. The at subtree, the previous node or the node which going to hold the subchild is going to act as a parent, and the child that are derived from the parent going to act as a child. And this will be a level 3 hierarchy, like a person to be next to this going to be a child, and this going to be like grandchild, and once again it extends so on. Let's now see about the traversals, tree traversals. In order to perform any operation on a tree, you need to reach to a specific node. So, the tree traversal algorithm going to help us to visit the particular required node in a tree. So, that's why we use tree traversals. There are three ways of traversing the tree: in-order traversal, pre-order traversal, and post-order traversal. Let's discuss one by one. The first is in-order traversal. In-order traversal, we're going to follow some steps of algorithm. Step 1 is recursively traverse left subtree. First, we're going to recursively traverse the left subtree. Then, visit the root node. We're going to visit the root node. Then, recursively traverse the right subtree. Once again, we're going for right subtree. Let's discuss here with an example. What is the leftmost subtree here? That's going to be this one. So, what is the leftmost node being here? That is the element D. So, we will traverse this first D. Then, we're going to go for its parent root. That's going to be B. And then, we're going for a light subtree. That is E. After traversing the whole left subtree, we should go for a root node. That's going to be A. After visiting A, we will go for the rightmost subtree. In the rightmost subtree, what is the element that placed on the left? That's going to be F. So we will traverse then F, and then C, and then G. So this is going to be the order of traversing in order traversal. Let's see other types of traversals. Pre-order traversal. Pre-order traversal going to follow some set of algorithm that visit the root node first, then recursively traverse the left subtree, then recursively traverse the right subtree. Here, what will be the root node? Root node going to be A. So that is traversed at first. Then traverse to the left subtree. In left subtree, what is meant to be root here? That's going to be B. So once again traverse B. After traversing B, we should go for D. That's going to be our left node of B. Then we go for right. That's going to be E. So A, B, D, E, and then we will go for right side. So right side, the root will be C, then F, then G. So our order will be A, B, D, E, C, F, and G. Let's discuss once again post-order traversal. So post-order traversal going to follow steps such as recursive traversal of the left subtree, then the traversal of a right subtree, then it's going to visit the node. First the left, then the right, then the visiting node. So first we can take this example. Here the left subtree is this one. It's going to visit the leftmost one, that E, sorry, D. Then it's going to visit the rightmost one, that going to be E. After visiting E, it's going to move for B. After visiting B, it will move once again to right subtree. In right subtree, it will go for F, then G, then C, at last to A. So this is going to be a post-order traversal. I repeat once again, from D, E, B, F to G, G to C, and then C to A. That's going to be the order of traversal in post-order traversals. Let's see the type of trees. The trees may be of different types. Today, we're going to discuss about the three types. Those are binary tree, binary search tree, and AVL tree. Let's see what is meant by binary tree. A binary tree is a tree structure in which each parent node can have at most two children. So each parent can have at maximum or at most two children. Here the binary name itself suggests that it is 2. So therefore it's going to be either having a children of 0 or 1 or 2. So here the example of a binary tree is shown, and when we're going to construct this professionally, we're just going to construct in this order, like one going to have a same sub children 2, and once again the one has a right node as 3, and 3 don't have any children, so they are marked as a cross marks, where the 2 has two sub children, those are 5 and 6, and 5 and 6 don't have any of our sub children or the children, so they are marked as cross marks. So let's see properties of binary tree. At each level of I, the maximum number of node is 2 power I. So each level of I means if we saw this is going to be the level. So at level 1, the element should present this 2 power 1. What is 2 power 1? It's going to be 2. Here the maximum element present is 2. At level 0, the element should present 2 power 0. 2 power 0 is 1. Here the 1 element is present at maximum. That is the first property. Then we go for the next one. The height of a tree is defined as a longest path from the root node or to the leaf node, and the tree which is shown above, it's of height maximum up to 3. Yeah. You might see height maximum 1, 2, 3. Then the maximum number of node possible at height h is equal to h plus 1. So the maximum number of node possible is with the height is h plus 1. Then the maximum number of node in minimum, then the height of a tree would be the maximum. Conversely, if the number of node is maximum, then the height of a tree would be minimum. So let's consider if there is an n number of node in a binary tree, then the maximum height can be computed as n equal to 2 power h plus 1 minus 1. And n plus 1 would be like make this 1 to move that side. So it turns as n plus 1 equal to 2 power h plus 1. Taking log on both sides. After taking log on both sides, here log to the base 2. So this log bases cancel and we get as h plus 1. log 2 n plus 1 is equal to h plus 1. We can even make this 1 as to the left side and make as minus 1. So the equation finally would be h equal to log 2 n plus 1 minus 1. The maximum height can be computed as n equal to h plus 1, or we can even say this as h equal to n minus 1. Let's see with the type of binary trees. The type of binary trees, there are many type of binary trees. We discuss few here. Fully binary tree. The fully binary tree is a special tree of binary tree in which every parent node or the internal node has either two or no children. Where the perfect binary trees. The perfect binary tree are a binary tree in which the internal node has exactly two children and all the leaf nodes are at same level. You may see this picture. All the leaf nodes are of all same levels and they're going to have only exactly two children. Then we look at this balanced binary tree. Balanced binary tree in this type of tree, which is different between the height of the left and the right subtree, for each node is either 0 or 1. So the difference between the height of all the subtrees will be either 0 or 1. Next is a skewed binary tree. A skewed binary tree is a pathological or degenerated tree in which the tree is either dominated by the left node or else by the right node. So there are two different types of the skew tree, that is a left skew tree or a right skew tree. You may find the pictures here, the left skew tree and the right skew tree. Now, let's discuss some basic operations that can be performed in a binary tree. That can be a search operation, insert operation, pre-order traversal, in-order traversal, and post-order traversal. All these actions or operations can be performed in a binary tree in general. Let's now start with a binary search tree. A binary search tree is a data structure that quickly allows us to maintain a sorted list of numbers. So, the binary search tree is used for making a sorted list of numbers. It is called as a binary tree because each tree node has a maximum of two children, and it is called as a search because each of its search element that presents in an order as O log n times. So its order going to be present or the search time going to present as O log n, and that going to have a maximum two children. So we're going to call this or name this as a binary search tree. Let's discuss what is this binary search tree. Binary search tree can be defined as a class of binary tree and its nodes are arranged in a specific order. So they are also called as ordered binary tree. So the binary search tree, the value of all the nodes in a left subtree is lesser than the value of the root. Similarly, the value of the node in a right subtree should going to be a greater or equal to the value of the node. So the rules will be recursively applied for all the left and right subtree. Okay. Generally, in general tree or a binary tree, we followed such a node can have a left child and a right child, but it is not mandatory to have a value like a left child should be lesser than the root or right child to be greater than the root. So any value can be placed anywhere here. But in a binary search tree, the value should be in some particular order. So let's see the property of a binary search tree. The property of a binary search tree is all the nodes of a left subtree should be are lesser than the root node. So let's see here. A root is 8. The leftist subtree is 3. 3 should be lesser than the 8. And all the nodes on a right subtree should have more than the root node. Let's see here the 10 which is going to be the greater than the root node. Both the subtrees of each node it's also called as BST, and all that they must follow all these two properties. Here the picture is given 8 which is 3 which is less than 8 that can be placed on the left subtree, and 1 which is less than 3, so they placed as a left node of 3. Where 6 is greater than 3, so they are placed at the right side, and 4 it's going to be lesser than so if you want to place an element 4 is greater than 3 but lesser than 6. So it's placed at the left node of a 6. Let's see here why they are saying this diagram to be a wrong one. Because 2 is placed on the node 6. Why we should not place 2 on the node 6? You may think like 2 is lesser than 6. Then why can't we place it here? Guys, once again, look the tree properly or concentrate on this figure once again. You may see 3. 3 is greater than 2. When the element is greater, then it should go for, when a root is greater, then the particular element should go for left subtree. But here it's placed in right subtree. So it's not possible. If this element would have made as a right subtree of 1, then this picture would have been a correct one. Let's see how to create a binary search tree. Now we saw the properties for creating a binary search tree. Please note all these values. Now we will construct our own tree with all these values. See this diagram. Step 1. A number which was given at the first is 43. The 43 going to act as our root node now. Then the next number given is 10. So 10 is lesser than 43. In that case, we're going to branch the 10 as a left node of 43. Now, the next number given is 79. 79 is of course greater than 43. So we're going to place that at the right node of a 43. So after 79, the next number, you can see this in step 3. After 79, then the next is given as 90. So 90 is greater than 43, greater than 79. So once again, it's going to make as a right node of 79. You may see the picture here. After 90, the our given question for creating is 12. So 12. Let's see. 12 is less than 43 and 12 is greater than this 10. So it's going to place as a right node of 10. You may see here in this step. Our next value given is 54. So while placing element 54, it's going to be like 54 is greater than 43. It is lesser than 79. So it's going to be a left node of 79. Note here. After placing 54, the next element for creation is 11. So let's see where to place this 11. 43 is greater than 11. So it's going for a left subtree. Then 10, it's greater than 11. So it's going for this right subtree. 12, 10, it's lesser than 11. It's going for a right subtree. And 12 going to be greater than 11. So we're going to place this 11 as a left subtree of this 12. You may find here. After placing 11, the next element given is 9. So for placing 9, see 43 it's greater than 9. So let's go here. 10 it's greater than 9. So it's going to act as a left node. So we will place 9 here as a left node for 10. Next, our final element is 50 is given. So you may see in any of a picture, 43 is greater than 50, then 79 is lesser than, so 50 is lesser than 79. So we will go for 54. 54 is greater than 50, so it's going to be a left child of 54. This is how we're going to create a binary search tree. I hope do you understand, guys? Next, after creation, we will go for a search operation in binary tree. So let's see. Search operation in binary tree. The algorithm depends on the property of BST. What is meant by BST? Binary search tree. That is, if each left subtree has a value below the root and each right subtree have a value above the root. The value is below of the root, or we may say true, the value it's not sure that it's below the right subtree, but we only search in a left subtree. Now, in binary search tree, we had ordered all the elements in the sorted order. It may be lesser or it may be greater. By seeing this, you may remember of one thing, a binary search, what we had studied in previous classes. The binary search, it will sort the element, divide the element into half, then search in a left part or a right part. Here, we're going to do the same process by following this algorithm. Let's read this algorithm once. If the root is equal to null, then return null. Means the tree is not going to have any of an element. If the number equal to root of data, then return the root of data. Means the search number equal to the root. The root element, if you are going to search element and the search element matches the root, then we're going to return the root data and the search element is found. If the number is lesser than the root data, means the root data is greater than the search number, then we're going to search for the left part. If the search number is greater than the root data, then we are going for the right part. Why we are following this rule? Because the binary search tree is in a sorted order. Let's go for a search operation. Here, we're going to search an element 4 in a given tree. We will first check according to our algorithm, does 8 matches 4? No. And 8 is greater than 4. So we should go for a left subtree. Now, in left subtree, you may see in step 2, 3. 3 is lesser than 4. So we're going for a right subtree. You may see here 6, which is greater than 4. So once again we go for left subtree. At left subtree we found that the element is 4. So element is found. Until the end of the tree, if you are not going to find the element, then we will place that the element is not found. But in our case here, we found the element at the bottom. Here, if the value is written, then it is propagated for recursively. The step is being taken once again and again until the value is been found. So here we are following recursive steps and they are shown here. Now let's go for an insertion operation. After the searching operation, let's read what is meant by insertion operation. Inserting a value, it is a correct position. It's similar to searching because we are going to try and maintain the rule from a left subtree it's lesser than right, or the right subtree and then so. For inserting a particular, even for inserting a particular element, we're going to follow the same rule as what we followed in a search tree. We will check whether the element is smaller or greater, the left subtree or maybe for a right subtree, and then we're going to place the particular element. Let's see this algorithm. If a node equal to null, then return create node of data. If the data is less than node of data, then the node of left is equal to insert. Means when a node is equal to null, there is no element or no node in that tree, then we're going to create that element. Means whatever the element going to be given to us, going to act as a root node. Now, if a data is lesser than the node of data, if it is lesser than the root, then what we will do? We're going to make whatever the node we are going to have, we're going to act as a right side or a right subtree of a given data. That is mentioned here. Like node of left is equal to insert, node of left is slash data. So it's going to act as a left of our data. Then else if the data is greater than the node, means the given data is greater than the root node, then we will place the data at the right side. So we are going to follow the same principle what we saw there in a lively example for creating a node or a binary search tree. See here, we're going to insert an element 4. Okay, so the tree is given. We will first find 8. 8 is greater than 4. Of course, it is greater than 4. So it will move for a left subtree. You might find here 3. 3 which is lesser than 4. So we will go for right subtree. 6. 6 is greater than 4, and so it don't have any child here, so we will make 4 as a left subtree of this 6. So here we created a node 4 as a left subtree of a 6. Now that value has been given here in a form of order. Now let's see. We saw how to create, how to search the element, how to insert a particular element on a position. Now we look at the deletion operation. So at the deletion operation, we just, for example, I want to delete any of a root node. Here, we're going to delete a node for what we added now. So a root node, it doesn't matter. We can delete as it is, and after deletion, our tree may look like this. But if I want to delete some node like a 6 or a 10 or 8, which is going to act as a root or which is going to have a child, so how we can delete such elements? Let's see. So here in case 2, it's given we're going to delete an element 6, which is already having a child 7, left a child 7. So this after deleting this 6, what will happen for a 7? So you might be thinking about this, right? So after deleting 6, the child of a 6 will be passed to the root node, and then this 3 will have the 7 as its subchild. So you may see this in this example. The 7 will first shift, replace the node with the child node, then remove the child node from the original position. So the 6 is replaced now with a 7, and then the 7 is once again removed. So we will find a tree like this. Case 3. Case 3 here we had only a single child there. So passing was quite easy. But here I have a more than 2 child and a subtree is connected to it. So how to delete this part? So for doing that, let's read the procedure. Get to the in-order successor of the node. So first we need to find the in-order successor of the node. Place that node on a in-order with the in-order successor, then remove an in-order successor from its original position. So Let's see in this diagram. I am going to delete the node 3. So for deleting node 3, I need a in-order successor. What will be the in-order successor of 3? Yeah, it's going to be 4. Yeah, right. So the 4 will be placed at the position of 3, and then we will remove the 3 from the place. Now the tree structure will be like this. Let's discuss about the another type of tree, that is avial tree. What is mean by avial tree, or why it is named like this, something like AVL tree? So AVL tree got its name after an inventor, George Adelson Wilske and Landis. So combining all their names, they made this tree as an AVL tree. So let's see what are the special features of this AVL tree. AVL tree is a self-balancing binary tree which has each node maintain an extra information called balancing factor. Other than the value, other than the root, they're going to have something extra, that is a balancing factor, that may be like -1, 0 or +1. So the balancing factor always lies on the value -1, 0 or maybe +1. If the tree is not balanced, then we will do some rotations or some other thing, and then we make this tree as a balanced tree. This tree was found in a year 1962, and the highest balanced binary tree. So AVL can be also said as highest balanced binary tree, which each node is associated with the balance factor, which is calculated by subtracting the height of a left subtree from the right subtree. Let's see the balancing factor. A balancing factor of a node in an AVL tree is different between the height of a subtree, as I read previously, the left subtree, that of right subtree. So here the formula of a balanced tree is given. The balance factor is the height of left subtree minus the height of right subtree, or it may be even calculated by the height of right subtree minus the height of left subtree. The self-balancing property of an avial tree is maintained by the balance factor. So the balance factor should be of the value -1, 0 or +1. Let's see an example here. So what is the height of the right or left subtree for every root node will be 0. Not going to have any of a right subtree or a left subtree. So we can directly place 0 here. All the leaf nodes, they are placed as 0. Now let's see to its parent. Here we have the height of left subtree is 1. The height of right subtree is 2. So 1 minus 2 will be -1. So the balancing factor of this node 9 is -1. Now let's see for this 21. It does not have any of a right subtree. It have only a left subtree. So 1 minus 0. So the node 21 having a balancing factor 1. Now let's see for this root node. So when we look at this root node, you may think it having a height 2, it having a height 3. So we should take a maximum height, that its maximum height is 3. So 1, 2, 3. And for a left subtree, the maximum height is 3. And for a right subtree, the maximum height is 2. So 3 minus 2 will be 1. So the balancing factor of node 33 or a root node is 1 here. Now let's see for this. having a right subtree as 1 and no left subtree. So 0 minus 1, it will get as minus 1. And this is a leaf node which is placed as 0. Now, firstly, we can revise all the rotations operations that going to take place on the AVL tree. So there are three types of rotation: left rotation, right left rotation, and left right rotation. Sorry, there are four types. Let's discuss now with right rotation. For right rotation arrangement of node, on the right is transferred into the arrangement of the left side of node. That's going to follow some algorithm. Let's follow the algorithm and see with the cope up with the diagram. So the initial tree. Here this is an initial tree that is constructed. Okay. So after the initial tree, if y has a left subtree, assign x as a parent of a left subtree of y. So the left subtree, we can assign x as a parent for a left subtree of y. You may see this diagram and you may understand. After that, what we're going to follow is, if a parent of x is null, then make y as a root 3. If parent of x is null, then we're going to make y as a root 3. Here it is null. No. Else if x is a left child of p, or make y to be a left child of p. Else you may assign y as a right child of p. So we are not going to take any of that conditions places here. So what we can make is, we can make assign y as a right child of p. So we made here y as a right child of p, then make y as a parent of x. So y is made as a parent of x. Now from the initial diagram, it is rotated left completely rotated with the leftly rotated diagram. So this is called as left rotation. Now let's see with right rotation. Uh, in right rotation, the arrangement of the node from the left is transferred into the order of right nodes. So here the initial diagram is given with x and y, with p, alpha, beta and gamma. So let's see. If x is a right subtree, assign y as a parent of the right subtree of x. So if x is a right subtree, yeah, x is a x is a right subtree. So what we're going to assign is, make y as a parent of a right subtree of x. So making y as a parent of right subtree of x. Now, if a parent of y is null, the parent of y is null, then make x as a root subtree. No, the condition is false here. If y is a right child of its parent p, then make x as a right child of p. No, the condition also fails here. Else again x is the left child of p. So make x as a left child of p. You can make this like assigning parent of y as a parent of x. Then make x as a parent of y. So we're going to make x as a parent of y, and we assign x as a parent of y, and we will get this diagram. Now the diagram is, from the initial tree, it's completely rotated to the rightward direction. So this is a right rotation. Now let's see left right and right left rotation. First we see the left right rotation. The left right rotation here, the diagram is generally initialized diagram is given. Now do the left rotation of x minus y. So x minus y, it's first leftly rotated, means we will change the complete diagram in this order. You may find here. So y, z and x. Now the balancing factor does not matches. So if we are not getting any balancing factor here, like it may not matters. So once again, what we need to do is right rotation on y minus z. So y minus z should be once again rightly rotated. After right rotation, y would be a root node, y would be the root node, x is a left subtree, and z going to be the right subtree. This is a left-right rotation. First we rotated at the left, and then we're going to rotate at the right. Let's see about the right-left rotation. In right-left rotation, that we first going to rotate on the right side. So after rotating right side, you may get like this diagram, and then we're going to rotate the left. You may see here the left, that z by y, z and y are once again rotated. Then y will be a parent node, and then it connected with z and x. So this is right rotation. Why we are learning this rotation is to maintain the balancing factor, and the balancing factor why need to maintain it to when we creating a node or deleting a node, the factor may change. So for maintaining that, we need to learn this. Let's see insertion in an AVL tree. I need to insert an element 15 in this tree. See, the tree is given with some balancing factor value. Now, 15 can be directly inserted. You can see if 5 is lesser than 15, 7 is lesser than 15, 9 is lesser than 15, and 16. 16 is greater than 15, so we can make this as a left node of 16. So here, see here, the left node of 16 is fixed now. Now, the balancing factor of all these nodes turned as minus 2, sorry, plus 2. So it's not a balancing factor. So we need to rotate. So after the rotation, what it makes is we will get. So after the rotation of these two elements, what we're going to get is the 15 and this will be right rotated. After this right rotation take place, once again the balance factor is imbalanced here. We need to take a left rotation, and finally a balanced tree is constructed here. Let's go for the next one. This is a deletion of an element. For deleting a particular element, like I want to delete an element 55 from this list, it is a leaf node, it can be directly deleted. But after the deletion, the balancing tree, the values may change. So for that, once again, we need to do all the balancing procedure, and at last the tree balancing is take place here. Now let's discuss the gate questions. So let's see with the first question. We are going to set a n distinct element and an unlabeled binary tree with n nodes. So how many ways that we can populate the tree with a given set so that it becomes a binary search tree? So for making a binary search tree, how many times we can populate? One is enough. One for left searching and one for rightmost one. Let's see the answers. Here options are given as A0, B1, C n factorial, then D 1 by n plus 1 into 2n Cn. Okay, so I guess the answer would be B. Let's see. Yeah, we are right. There is only one way the minimum value can go for the leftmost node, and the maximum value can go for the rightmost node recursively, so that it is defined in other nodes. Let's discuss another question. The following numbers are inserted into an empty binary search tree. It is given in this order. 10, it's going to act as a root, then 1 will be the left subtree of 10, then 3 will be the right subtree of 1, then 5 going to be a a right subtree once again for 3, then 15 will be a right subtree for 10, then 12 will be the left subtree for 15, then 16 will be the right subtree for 15. So let's see. Okay, what is the height of a binary search tree? The height and the maximum distance of a leaf node. The height would be maximum, I guess, 3. So the options are given as option A 2, option B 3, option C 4, option D 6. So option B is 3. Let's discuss the answer. Yeah, we are right. What we constructed was right. 10, which is connected to 1, left with 3 and 5. Once again, 15, which connected left node is 12 and 16. So the 3 is constructed. What will be the maximum height is 3. Let's see here. You are given a post-ordered traversal P of a binary search tree on the n elements 1, 2 to up to n. You have to determine the unique binary search tree in such that P is its post-ordered traversal. What would be the time complexity for most efficient algorithm that's going to be? What will be the time complexity for post-order traversal in most given algorithm? It will be a big O of n. The option are given as big O of log n, big O of n, big O of n log n, and option D, none of the above. All these three cannot be uniquely determined. So our option is B. What we thought is guess is right. One important thing in this note is the binary search tree, not binary tree. So BST, the in-order traversal, can always be obtained by sorting all the keys. So after sorting all the keys, the order or the time complexity would be only O of n. But generally in binary tree, we discussed that the search will be O log n, because they are not in a sorted order. So they need to be in O log n. Here it is in a sorted order, so it will be in O of n. Let's discuss with another question. Consider a following C programming segment. Here the C programming segment is given like structure of cell node, the structure cell node star leaf node, int element, then structure of a cell node with a, so the left child and right child is created using a structure and an element is created here. Now a function is defined as do something. So the do something, what it's going to do is int value equal to 0 if ptr it's not equal to null, means the pointer is not equal to null, then pointer of left child is not equal to the null, then value equal to 1 plus do something, then pointer of left child. So what are the node we're going to see is the particular node's left child will be added a value with 1, and once again the function is called. If the point of right child is not equal to the 1, then what we're going to do is maximum of value, means what are the value we're going to give, that value comma 1 plus do something of PT or a right child. So we're going to take this both value into a function called max function, and at that function we're going to perform something. Now return the value. So after reading this program, you may understand something. Let's discuss what is this question, what the question is. The value returned by the function do something when a pointed to be a root of a non-empty tree, it's passed with an argument. So the element is given with a non-empty tree, the root of the element is being passed. So let's see what are the options is given in answer. That is the number of leaf node in a tree, then option B, the number of nodes in a tree, then option C, the number of internal nodes in a tree, and option D is the height of the tree. So let's read it once again. The program is given, and the program it was just given for incrementing, and then here the value is given as uh, The value written by the function to do something when a pointer of a root of a non-empty tree is passed to an argument. So what it's going to say? If a non-empty root is going to pass on the argument, what will be our answer? Okay, it's going to give the height of the function. Yes, the option D will be the right one. Let's discuss or see what the answer is. Yeah, we are right. The do something function going to return like maximum of left node plus 1 and the child plus 1. So when we are going to make the node plus 1 or child plus 1, of course it will return the height of the tree. So the given that the pointer of a root in a tree, it passes to do something function, then it will return the height of a tree. Let's discuss with other questions. Here the question is given. La, let last post comma last in and last pre denotes the last vertex index of a post order, in order and pre order traversal respectively. So to complete the binary tree, which one of the following is always true? Option A is given as last in equal to last post. Option B is given as last in equal to last pre. Option C is given as last pre equal to last post. So option D is none of the above. The answer is option D. We see why. Let's see why it is. The explanation is given here. So it is given that the tree of complex binary tree for a sorry complete binary tree. The complete binary tree, the last visited node will always be same as the in order and pre-order traversal. For complete binary tree, it's going to be the last visited nodes will be same in order and pre-order. So we know what is meant by in order. First going to visit the left child, then the root, then the right child. In pre-order traversal, first visit the left child, uh, first visit the root, then left child and right child is visited. So anyway, the child will be visited. So none of this above is true even in the complete binary tree. Then option A. It is incorrect because the last node is visited in an in order. The last node visited in an in order traversal is right child and a left node visited in a post order traversal. So post order traversal, which of the following order we follow? First to the left, then to the right. Sorry guys, sorry for the disturbance. Then once again, we visit the post order. First it go for the left child, then for the right child, then for the root. Sorry for the disturbance, guys. Let's see on option C. In option C, it is incorrect because the last node visited in a pre-order traversal is would be the left, but in post order, it going to well, the last node visited will be the root node. Yeah, in post order, what the order we follow is left, then right, then the root one. But in a pre-order traversal, we go for the root, then left, then right node. So it was not going to match. Then option B. Option B, we may even generally let's see here we can construct a tree-like structure. So after constructing tree-like structure also like in order and pre-order, we can just compare. Does this value matches? No, of course not. So none of this above will be our answer. Let's go with other question. Here the question is given as the tree with vertex P labeled as a root in which order the node is visited during an in-order traversal. So in-order traversal, in which order the node to be visited. In-order traversal, we know the order which going to it visit. First, it go for the left node, then the root node, then the right side one. So here, the left one. What does the what the element present in the left? It is yes. So first visited will be yes, and then for Q, it go for Q, and then for P. So we know the order SQP will be the sequence of order which is first followed. So let's see our options. Each and every option is having SQP. So we cannot neglect any of an options here. Let's see from the right node. The right node, the what is the leftmost one, that is going to be our T. So T. Then after visiting the right, what will be the visited element in order traversal? Of course, it's going to visit the root. So R to be visited. So let's see once again. S, Q, P, T, R should be our order. So S, Q, P, T, R. The first option matches. The second option does not match. The third one does not match. The fourth one matches little bit. So now let's see. After doing to the root, we will go for the bottommost element, that will be our W, then its parent U, and then for V. So our order almost matches with the option A. Let's see the answer. Yeah, we are right, and here the explanation is given step by step processing. Guys, I hope that you all enjoyed today's class and you might be understanding what is meant by tree data structure. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you, guys.